few weeks ago, I did a story that I didn't think anybody would really care about involving an insufferable IRL streamer. Oh, I've got to narrow this down. This dude named Johnny Somali. He was out there causing a ruckus in Japan. He just looked like an insufferable little thing. He ended up getting dog walked by a couple of locals, and then he got snatched up by the police for doing a couple of very illegal activities. Thought everything was all done and dusted. He had his day in court. They found him all guilty. Then he was set to be sentenced. And well, now we're here. But first, I got to go ahead and refresh everybody's memory as to what we're dealing with right here. So, the last we left, okay, is Johnny Somali sentenced to 5 years in jail. That was the maximum for his sentence back at the end of October, right? But we got to set the record straight on that one because no, he hadn't quite had a sentencing hearing yet. But those were some numbers being thrown around, and a lot of people, actually just about everybody online, was going, yes, okay, throw the book at him. Controversial kick streamer Johnny Somali became the talk of the town after social media reports suggested he was sentenced to 5 years in Japanese prison. End up in Japanese hell like your ancestors. The content creator made headlines earlier this month on October 12th, 2023, when he was rearrested for allegedly hosting an unauthorized live stream. Yeah, when he was out there trying to menace another female Japanese Twitch streamer. And generally just being a nuisance in Tokyo, inside a restaurant inside the capital. According to the Sankai News, the Osaka Prefecture's South Police Station has been investigating Johnny Somali's case, labeling him a nuisance online distributor. I love that. That is such a great label for somebody. And again, the Japanese language is just so literal and so perfect. Nuisance online distributor. What do you do for a living? You distribute nuisance. That's fantastic, Sankai News reported. On Sunday, they decided to arrest him again on suspicion of forcibly obstructing business operations for causing a nuisance by broadcasting a live stream without permission at a restaurant in Osaka City. According to the investigators, Khalid, his real last name, because imagine that, his last name's not Somali, is suspected of disrupting the business of restaurants in Osaka by filming them and distributing the videos on the internet. Well, it's simultaneously streaming, right? Earlier today, October 25th, 2023, posts claiming the kick streamer has been sentenced to 5 years in prison went viral on the platforms such as Reddit and X, of course, and everybody was going, yep, nope, that sounds about right. At the time of writing, no official sources have confirmed that Somali would be facing 5 years in prison. According to X users, the 24-year-old was detained on a second charge. They added, this is false news. Here's the tweet, obviously. Okay, Johnny Somali is still detained on a second charge. Police will keep rearresting him, and he'll serve 23 days detainment for each charge. Once that they've done stacking charges, he'll be prosecuted in front of a judge. Steve was heading in that direction too. Don't know who Steve is, but that's all right. Yes, of course, no trace of this on Japanese media. So yeah, it was all just being thrown around out there, and everybody, I don't know, maybe just trying to wish it into reality. But of course, ultimately, when the sentencing hearing does end up coming down, well, it's not quite 5 years in jail. Actually, it's not even jail time. I would just go ahead and, punt him out of the country. But then again, I don't have a gavel and a cool rope. I don't know if they have the wigs over there in Japan. I think that's more of a European thing. But kick streamer Johnny Somali vows to stop streaming as Japan court seeks 200,000 yen fine, which is $20,000, I think. It's either $2,000 or $20,000. Where it's like, yeah, if you're going to be in the country, which probably shouldn't be the case at this point in time, okay, in order to go ahead and, mitigate the disaster that he's caused, I think that's probably the least that he can do, stop streaming. But he was also crying in court as well, so that's hilarious. Kick streamer Johnny Somali denied some of the charges against him in Japanese court. How can you how can you deny the charges? The VODs are up there, man. Like, the police have them, and the Japanese court system has a 99% conviction rate, okay? It's like the feds in the United States. If you get slapped with charges, your days are numbered, pal. After making his first trial appearance, infamous streamer Johnny Somali made international headlines with controversial kick broadcasts from Japan. I like the one where, he got knocked out, but that's just me. There's so many dumb things that he's done. Where he'd harass locals and even confront other streamers. His antics, well, that's a nice way of, stalking and doxing. Confronting. It sounds better that way. Antics finally caught up with him in September when Somali was arrested and allegedly trespassing on a construction site, and was even arrested again for disrupting a restaurant by entering the kitchen and playing loud music. What a shitbag. On December 19th, Somali appeared in court but disputed some of the charges for forcible obstruction of business. No, you did it, but okay. In Osaka District Court, Somali claimed that while he was filming in the restaurant, the audio came on automatically. That's not how it works, bro. And it also doesn't stay on and eventually get louder, too. Come on. When the viewer reacted to the stream and he wasn't in control. Oh, yeah, and he also had text-to-speech on and all that stuff, but you could have turned off the Bluetooth speaker, okay? If you're going to make technology claims and how it works, don't do that in Japan. They're pretty savvy with that stuff. According to Yahoo! We were already talking about Somali. Oh, the website. In addition to his music, Somali had made some remarks about wanting to drop atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Why would you do that? You should pick different places. They've paid their toll. Comments that are common during his broadcasts. That's the nicest thing that he said. However, as Shanghai News reports, the prosecution wasn't buying it and argued that Somali was acting arbitrarily because he wanted to please the viewers. Yeah, that's the problem with these IRL streamers, because they just do increasingly inflammatory things up until a point where somebody's going to end up getting shot on stream. Not that I'm advocating for that. Not that I want that. It's just you got to deal with the world the way that it is instead of the way that you want it to be, because I want all of those IRL streamers just, tossed into the ocean. If you want to drop an atomic bomb on anybody, just go ahead and get them all together so they can all just point their selfie sticks at themselves and we can just rid ourselves of a great societal poison. But is that going to happen? Absolutely not. But as many times as I see that little Jack Doherty piece of shit running around causing a ruckus, somebody's going to cripple him. Whether it's a shot to the jaw and he ends up banging his head off of a curb or something like that, or somebody just, he runs up on him and then it's just... Because we've seen an IRL streamer actually get a hot lead injection, pause, on stream, okay, because he was hassling a delivery worker and he was having absolutely none of it. Just went, took care of business right there and wasn't charged. He either wasn't charged or he was acquitted. But that's Texas for you, and God love him for that. But that's what's going to stop this insanity. There are some IRL streamers, like, I don't watch them. I just think the entire format is AIDS. Like, have structure to your show, for God's sakes. But there's some of them that are less offensive. Some of them that actually go and do certain things and they just want it streamed. It's like, okay, cool. If you want to watch that instead of actually experience those things, okay, that's one thing that you can do. But then at the same time, people spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day watching other people react to other people's videos. So it is what it is. Somali, who had been in custody since his second arrest, requested leniency. It was an embarrassing act that inconvenienced employees and customers. I swear that I will never record or distribute any kind of video in the future. I don't believe you, because this is your second arrest. You have done all of this in unconscionable stuff multiple times over. I don't believe you. I really don't believe you. As Jeffrey J. Hall, apparently he's reporting on all this stuff. Several Japanese news outlets are reporting that American kick streamer Johnny Somali appeared before a Japanese court today. He claimed that he was so sorry for his actions and said he would not live stream again. Somali now faces a criminal justice system with a 99% conviction rate. That's why he is so apologetic, because he knows that he's staring at the back of the cell for the rest of his life if he doesn't pull out all the stops. Prosecutors rarely pursue charges unless they are certain of a conviction. The penalty for obstruction of business is imprisonment of up to 3 years or a fine of 500,000 yen, about $3,200. Okay, so he's looking at like a $1,200 fine for what he's sitting at right now. Somali told the court that the loud music that disrupted a restaurant played automatically. In reality, he did not stop viewers from his stream from playing offensive sounds, music on his speakers, because he earned money every time it happened. Yeah, so kind of a quasi text-to-speech setup that he had right there. Makes sense. I don't care what excuse he has to say. The prosecution asked for a 200,000 yen fine, about $1,400. Okay, I undersold it. For his actions, and the case was concluded. Charges for allegedly trespassing on the construction site were dropped. That's crazy. Somali also expressed a desire to return to Japan in the future, but so far it is unknown if he will be allowed back in the country. I'm pretty sure if you get convicted of a crime like that, you're not coming back, but the verdict is expected to be handed down on January 10th, 2024. I will definitely 100% be paying attention to that, because this situation, it's interesting. It's definitely one of those precedent-setting cases in Japan, but if I were other governments that were around there, knowing that they are facing a scourge of society in the form of IRL streamers, looking at some of the bigger cities in the United States specifically, this is how you have to handle this menace, with a firm hand and a determination to keep your people safe. But they can't even control the borders in their own states, let alone their own cities. So we'll just see degenerates like this come back stateside and just do absolutely some of the dumbest stuff. Maybe he'll be the guy who ends up getting crippled, and not that little goof with the stupid Gen Z mop haircut. But then again, I'm not narrowing down to anybody specifically now, am I? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.